Rain glistened on the streets like black glass, the smell of gasoline and hot pretzels mixing in the damp air. Steam hissed from a manhole near the mouth of a narrow alley where a black sedan sat idling with its lights off. Inside, Clark Smith leaned back in the driver's seat, one hand loose on the wheel, the other near the gear shift. His eyes never stopped moving from the rear view to the side mirrors and back to the dark slit of the street ahead. From the passenger seat, a small police scanner whispered and crackled.
Unit 12, respond to disturbance at...
Unit 9, report of shots fired near...
Clark tuned the dial slightly. The voices sharpened.
All units be advised. 211 in progress. Empire Jewelers on Main. Suspects armed.
That was it. His cue. Clark turned the key just enough to bring the engine's growl alive, slid the shifter into drive, and rolled toward the mouth of the alley. The sedan slipped into the street like a shadow breaking free. 20 seconds later, the jewelry store came into view, lights still blazing inside. The glass door shut tight. Clark eased to a stop across the street, nose pointed toward an exit route. His foot rested heavy on the brake, engine idling low. In the distance behind him, faint red and blue flashed against wet pavement. The first cruisers were closing in. The store door slammed open, and 3 men in black bolted out, faces masked, bags swinging from their fists. They pounded across the street toward him.
Go, go, go!
The back doors yanked open, and the men threw themselves inside. Clark didn't say a word. His foot came off the brake, tires barked against the street, and the sedan lunged forward. Sirens screamed behind as headlights stabbed through the rain.
2 units on us.
I can see them.
He took a hard right without signaling, tires hissing on the wet asphalt. The car slid just enough to kiss the curb before he straightened it out, slipping into a narrower street lined with shuttered bodegas and flickering neon. The police kept pace. Clark's eyes flicked to a mirror, 2 cruisers maybe 3 blocks back. He rolled a mental map of the city through his head. Left here was a trap. Right was open but lit. Straight ahead was a maze. He chose the maze. The sedan wove through a stretch of one-way streets, cutting across lanes, slipping between parked delivery trucks. A cruiser tried to box him from the side. Clark braked hard, let it overshoot, then swung left into a side street so narrow the mirrors grazed brick.
Hey, watch the damn paint.
Why don't you drive then?
They burst out onto a wider road. Sirens grew louder from the rear. Clark spotted an overpass ahead. He punched the gas, shot under it, then cut right onto a sloping service road. One cruiser followed, the other missed the turn. Clark swung left again under a canopy of scaffolding, sparks flashing as the mirror clipped steel.
We gotta lose them now.
Clark didn't answer. He could feel the chase thinning. Every move was about angles, shadows, and sound. He ducked into a loading dock alley, killed the headlights, and coasted in the dark until the sirens wailed past on the main road above. They waited in the shadows. The men in the back panted, adrenaline still spiking.
All clear.
Minutes later, the sedan rolled into the Ricci garage. Massive steel doors slid shut behind them. The air smelled of oil, cigarette smoke, and burnt rubber. Inside, the crew erupted with cheers, laughter, claps on the back for the 3 men in black. A couple of them nodded toward Clark with respect. He met their nods with a flat, reluctant glance, making it clear he wasn't celebrating, he was just doing what he had to do. Vince Moretti stepped out. He was tall with broad shoulders, the swagger of someone who'd been running streets since they were kids.
Still the best damn wheel in the city.
Clark's eyes met his, a faint smile flickering.
Not for long.
Vince's grin faltered.
Is that so?
4 years, Vince. 100 jobs. Debts paid. I'm done.
Vince leaned back slightly, studying him.
You sure this is the right night to drop that on me? Sandro's in one of his moods. You know how he gets when he feels cornered.
There's never a good night for this, and I'm tired of looking for one.
Vince glanced toward the stairs like he was weighing whether to buy Clark more time or rip the bandage off.
You know Sandro's got to hear that from you himself.
Then let's go.
They climbed the narrow staircase toward Sandro Ricci's office, leaving the noise and laughter of the garage behind. Inside, the air smelled faintly of cigar smoke and aged leather. Warm wood, heavy chairs, framed photos of old boxing matches and street fairs lined the walls. Sandro sat behind a polished desk, silver hair slicked back, his dark suit cut like armor.
There he is, my best driver. Good to see you, Clark. The last few jobs were beautifully done.
Sandro rose to shake Clark's hand, his grip firm but measured. Vince stood off to the side near the bookshelf, arms folded, watching every move.
You made another clean run tonight. You make it look easy.
Clark stayed on his feet.
Not here to celebrate, Sandro. I've been running for you 4 years straight, never once missed a beat. But tonight, it's over. Debt's paid. I'm ready to walk.
Vince's brow twitched, eyes flicking between them like he was caught between two storms. Sandro tilted his head, settling back into the chair, fingers steepled.
Walk? Just like that? You think this is a taxi stand where you clock in and out when you feel like it?
I think I've done my part. Every job, no questions.
You know what I remember?
Sandro leaned forward. From the corner, Vince shifted his weight, but said nothing. Clark's jaw tightened.
I'm grateful, Sandro. Really am. You were there when no one else would even take my call, and I'll never forget that. But I never signed on for life. 4 years behind that wheel, living by your clock, that wasn't the deal we made. I've done my miles, paid my debt, and I've got a daughter at home who only has me. If something happens to me out here, I'm all she's got, and she's all I've got. That's why I want the road to myself again.
Sandro's eyes narrowed, something sharp glinting there.
Grateful's a funny thing, Clark. People forget it quick when they think they're finally breathing easy. You know, if something happened to you, I take care of your kid.
Vince winced at the line, but kept his mouth shut. The smirk that followed was short-lived. Clark's stare cut through it like a blade, and the air went heavy. Sandro leaned back, hands raised slightly in mock surrender.
All right, okay. That was a bad joke.
I'm not forgetting, Sandro. I'm just saying it's time I started breathing on my own again.
A beat passed, the hum of the garage below filling the space. Vince's gaze moved from Sandro to Clark, sensing the ground about to shift. Sandro leaned forward slightly.
And now, the moment something urgent drops into my lap, something that needs the one man I can trust behind the wheel, you show up asking to walk away. That's a hard thing for me to hear.
A sudden knock cut through the air. It was sharp and hurried. Vince straightened instinctively as the door cracked open, and one of Sandro's men slipped inside, leaning in to whisper something low. The words didn't carry, but whatever they were, it caught Sandro off guard for half a second before his face reset. His eyes, though, had hardened. He waved the man away without a word, gaze sliding back to Clark. After a long pause, Sandro spoke.
You'll have your freedom, Clark. But first, one last job. Tonight, simple pickup. No trouble.
Nothing in this life was ever simple. He gave a slow, reluctant nod, then met Sandro's eyes.
Hope you stand by your word, because I've stood by mine.
Sandro's smile was thin, unreadable.
Good. I knew you'd understand.
Below, the garage roared with life. Men were laughing and engines were snarling. But up here, it was dead quiet. Clark could almost hear the cage door swinging shut in his mind, the unspoken truth pressing in. This wasn't a request, and there was no walking away.